Um, Hello, everybody. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I hope you had a delicious break. I am Bilal Afroz. I lead the research monitoring and evaluation team at Rocket Learning. I have been with the organization for about a year now, and we very recently conducted an ECCE cross-sectional survey in Solapur and Chandigarh, and we are excited to share some key findings from this research. I will begin with sharing some high-level findings and then move on to giving some brief of the study itself, and then finally conclude by giving a deep dive of the high-level findings moving forward. What we find where this research is that overall about 2/3 of the 0 to 6 age children were developmentally on track. When we say developmentally on track, we define certain cutoffs for 0 to 3 and 3 to 6 years kids, consulting experts from Harvard University and World Bank. And then we categorize them as developmentally on track or off track. So we found that almost 2/3 of them were developmentally on track on key development domains such as cognitive, language, motor, and socio-emotional domains. What we also found was parents' perception and knowledge played a very critical role in the well-being of child, especially in the early years of age. And also our robust regression modeling shows that it can, in some cases, help mitigate the differences created by wealth and nutrition as well. Further, what we find is that child development and cognitive outcomes are highly correlated with child receiving a balanced diet. And as you know, balanced diet is a core nutritional indicator, and especially this is more relevant for children who are below 3 years of age. Now I give you a brief of the study itself. So the rationale of this research was to create a comprehensive data set that could provide useful insights to help shape policies and programs to support learning and development of children under 6 and their caregivers. Objectives were to create a data set of first of its kind in India, because we don't have any robust data set for children below 6 in this age category. Also, the objective was to create a current, actionable, and accurate data set, and to bring awareness to critical years of early childhood. We conducted this survey in 2 districts, Solapur and Chandigarh. Solapur majorly reflecting rural context, and Chandigarh reflecting an urban context. And the primary data collection was conducted in Jan and Feb of this year. And we employed a cross-sectional design for this research, and employed a 2-stage sampling, wherein we sampled villages and wards from the Census 2011 directory, and then further sampled households from the randomly selected villages and wards. And overall, we conducted about 1,200 quantitative surveys with parents and their children. So for assessment of kids below 3, we used a tool called CREDI, Caregiver Reported Early Development Index tool, which is a tool developed by Harvard University. And this is a tool that's well tested across the globe in many different languages, including Indian languages. And this has both short and long form. And for this research, we use something called long form of this tool, which helps us to get domain-wise scores besides the overall score. When I say domain-wise, it helps us to get scores of motor, cognitive, language, and socio-emotional developments as well. Just to give you a glimpse of what all different questions are there out in the CREDI tool, you can have a look at this. The questions are modulated to each age category, like age range. For example, here the questions I give here, like just for the demonstration purposes, we have for 6 to 11 months, 12 to 17 months, and 24 to 29 months, right? Further, for the assessment of kids in the age category of 4 to 6, we use something called anchor items for measurement of ECD, AIM ECD, which is a tool developed by World Bank. This helps us to get scores of early literacy, early numeracy, executive functioning, and social emotional development of kids. And this has a shorter form called caregiver report form, and then a longer tool called direct assessment tool. And for this study, we used a direct assessment tool as a way of assessment. Just to give a glimpse of what the AIM ECD tool contains, if you see, we have different concepts measured, and this is a glimpse of it. So we have spatial vocabulary, related questions. We have questions that ask kid to identify different shapes. Now getting on to the key finding, these are the same findings that I showed in the high-level findings slide. So as I mentioned, about 2/3 of the children, 0 to 3.5, were found to be developmentally on track, and they were relatively more on track in the language domain, followed by motor, socio-emotional, and cognitive domains. And as you can see in this graph, we do find a difference in scores by the rural-urban settings. The kids in urban areas like Chandigarh were scoring more compared to the rural district. Further, we also find difference in scores by child gender. That is, female kids were at this age category were found to be developmentally more on track compared to male kids. And we also found strong association of the scores with mother's education. And as you can see, the better the mother is educated, the better the developmental score of these kids. And further, what we found was the scores were better for those kids belonging to middle and high income households compared to kids from low income households. Similarly, we found that children aged 4 to 6 years of age, a similar proportion, 2/3 of them were found to be developmentally on track. And in this age category, we found that children were relatively more on track in the early numeracy domain, followed by early literacy, executive function, and socio-emotional domains. And likewise, in the 0 to 3 age, here as well we find difference in scores by geography. That is, children from urban areas were scoring better compared to rural. Interestingly, we did not find any difference in score by child gender in this age category. And we do find a strong association of child's mother's education on the scores in this age category as well. However, we do not find any difference in scores by the wealth status of the households. Further, as I discussed in the high-level slide, parents' perception of ECD was found to be very crucial in young child's well-being or development. And in this research, we had a very short and well thought out 10 indicators, out of which we created a cutoff called parent perception cutoff, greater than or equal to 7. And we find a strong association of the scores with the parents having the right knowledge and perception regarding ECD, as you can see here, for 0 to 3.5 years kids. And also similarly for kids in the 4 to 6 years category. You can find a strong association with the parents having, or the caregivers having better perception and knowledge of ECD, and those who have otherwise. Further, we also had a set of questions investigating on the diet the child had the previous day, which is from the CNSS survey. And we defined again there a cutoff of greater than or equal to at least like 4 food groups out of 7 food groups as defined by CNSS. And we do find that children who have better balanced, diverse diet, they had higher likelihood of being developmentally on track compared to those who did not have a balanced diet. Similarly, you can see the same trend for kids in the 4 to 6 age category. And here are some couple of qualitative, quotes from the a limited number of qualitative interviews we have done with parents. So yeah, so these are some of the key high-level findings we thought of sharing with you in this limited time slot. However, we have further more interesting insights that we plan to publish in the form of a report very soon. However, the research team at Rocket Learning will be pretty happy to support any practitioner or researcher if they are interested in exploring how to implement CRIDI or AM ECD on the ground to assess kids. But yeah, if you have any further questions or interested to explore any other further concepts further, feel free to reach out. Thank you.